Hey guys, we're out here at Durant's Olive Oil. Paul, thanks for having us out, man.
Yeah, thanks for being out. It's really exciting. You guys are here right on a typical Northwest day. You know, it's kind of gray and rainy, and you know we've had kind of all kinds of weather here over the last few weeks when we've been milling.
So, I bet. This is unusual for the Pacific Northwest. Olive trees and an olive mill.
Yeah, highly unusual. Very counterintuitive, actually.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's really a testament to my parents. You know, my mom, she's just all about plants, and kind of got started we actually planted our first trees here in the ground in 2005.
Wow.
So it's been almost 20 years that we've had the trees. And, you know, my dad likes to say we've probably killed more trees than anybody else in Oregon, just as we've been trying. So we planted a lot of the wrong varieties. It's kind of been a little bit of like the story with wine grapes where, you know, maybe the right clones weren't planted or that sort of stuff. So it's really been this big journey of discovery in terms of finding trees that grow here. And it's really been probably the last, I would say, 8 to 10 years that we've really kind of zeroed in on trees that actually are well suited to this climate.
Nice, because the winters here can be a little tough sometimes, which is hard on those trees.
Hard on the trees. It's really tough. You know, our last really bad freeze here was in 2013. So right about this time, you know, geez, 10 years ago, we had temperatures about 12 degrees. And then our lower field where our big planting is, it was 9 and sustained temperatures at 9.
Wow.
So it really wiped out a lot of the trees that weren't suited, but there were some survivors out of that. And so we've kind of pivoted out of that learning experience, as painful as it was, to really focus on those varieties that survived that freeze of 2013.
Nice, but they still make beautiful olive oil.
Yeah, great olive oil, you know, and we have really, I think I kind of described there's 2 tracks here. You know, there's one of like the agronomy side of how to grow these trees, which is taken a really long time. It's been a lot of ups and downs. And then there's the other piece of like, how do you make really great olive oil? And that's something we get to practice yearly. So, you know, we were able to source some fruit from some growers, you know, kind of on the West Coast, and we bring that in and we kind of blend that in with what we're doing, and we're able to still grow our production and really hone our craft on kind of the milling side, as well as kind of on the agronomy side.
Nice. Speaking of the milling side, should we go take a look?
Yeah, let's go take a peek.
Let's do it. All right, Paul, this is something unique in the Pacific Northwest as well.
Yeah, pretty wild. You know, we started out with a very small mill, probably the smallest commercial mill you could actually purchase.
Yeah.
But this year we really upped our game, and we put in a really state-of-the-art mill from Italy. It's made by Paralisi, the oldest olive oil manufacturer in the world.
Wow.
We've been doing it for well over 100 years.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited to have it here, and we're just wrapping up for the 2023 season.
Nice.
And it's been quite a ride, so it's been great.
That's cool. Should we go take a look and see what the process is?
Yeah, I'll walk you through it.
Thanks, man. All right, so what's the first part of the process of milling?
Well, the first part to make really great olive oil is really clean fruit.
Nice.
So when the fruit comes in, it goes into a hopper and it goes across a conveyor where we basically sort it. So we remove woody debris, and then we have a vacuum sucker that removes kind of like basically an air knife. That vacuums off sort of the woody or the leafy debris, lighter weight stuff. There might be some olives in there that were maybe from last year that hung onto the tree. We call those zombies. So we want to suck the zombies out and get them out of the fresh fruit. So from there we go to a washer. So it goes into a kind of a deep water bath. It's really agitating the fruit and just get that last bit of residual dust and dirt off. Then we go up a conveyor and we do a fresh water rinse. So just get it pristine. And it goes up an auger and we drop it into a grinder. And so it drops in, there's a mesh, and there's a set of hammers inside that mesh. We basically pulverize the fruit through that screen. And we can play with different size perforations in that screen, kind of depending on the nature of the fruit and kind of what the flavors we're looking for. So that's kind of really the first part of the process where you're starting to really kind of hone in on how do I want this olive oil as a miller, how do I want it to be in the final product.
Nice. So that way, then at that point, then you're just basically taking that, and then you're going to go get it turned into oil. Yeah,
turn into oil. And really the magic of olive oil making is a process called Malaxation, and that's where you're taking this ground up olive paste, which is basically, you know, pit, skin, pulp, water, and oil. So you want to kind of merge those through malaxation, where you're slowly heating and with some knives. And you want 3 components in your oil. You want fruitiness, so like you can eat grass, banana, maybe even a little butter. Bitterness, which is tannins, just like you get from wine, you get some tannins from the skins. And then pungency, which is kind of those really healthy antioxidants. And ideally through malaxation, those 3 components will all be in balance together.
All right, so that last part of the process is really kind of that key part, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really kind of where everything comes together. So you've kind of done the initial piece, got that fruit nice and clean and shiny, you ground it up, and then we put it into those malaxation tanks and just kind of take it through that process of where we're trying to get all those components, the fruitiness, the bitterness, and the pungency to really be in equal measure complementary.
Yeah.
So, and that's really kind of where that the nuance happens with, we can kind of play with basically 2 variables, time and temperature. And we'll kind of be tasting things and we'll adjust those, the temperatures and the times as we need to. You know, people talk about olive oil, so much different than wine in that it's at its peak freshness right off the end of the mill. So it's really, to be consumed like right at its peak freshness is really the right time. You know, we will bottle that, you know, we'll filter it, kind of get rid of some of that residual particulate. But then we'll put it in a bottle and it'll go out to market just as quick as we can.
Paul, thanks for having us out, man. This has been great out here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. As you can tell, I love everything olive oil, so it's been exciting. I'm always thrilled to talk about it. So, and I'm more thrilled to like really share it with people. It's just like, you know, everything we make here, we want to share. So, you know, again, this is that orange oil we just tasted. It's in bottle, it's ready to go. Walk through a tasting, it's always complimentary. We have a great staff that can explain the tasting and the nuances to you.
Nice.
And of course, you can't make it, you know, come find us online at durantoregon.com.
Thanks again, man. I really appreciate it. This has been fun.
Thank you.
All right, guys, you got to come check this out. This stuff's tasty.